Today we're going to learn how to update your homepage. First of all, you go to the school website and you sign in. Once you've signed in, you're going to see the Site Manager. Click on the Site Manager and it should open a screen that looks a little bit like this. The page that we're interested in is the Welcome page. When I click on that, it opens a simple flex page that I can type text into. But right now, I actually want to change that. I will initially just type a quick message in there. So this would be my welcome message. Just so you can see how this displays. And I'm going to save it. Now I go back to where it says welcome page. And this is the setup for my page. Now the upcoming events would be anything that I have on my classroom calendar. Initially you're not going to see anything in that area, but when you start putting events on your calendar, reminders about homework, assignments and due dates, things that people need to bring into class for a certain day, or if you're a coach you might put games on there. Then you'll start seeing a feed appear on your website. The upcoming events feed looks something like this. So I'm actually going to leave that there because when I do start getting information on my website, putting more into it, I am actually going to want that. But right now I'm going to manage my apps and my layout. And I'm going to change the layout first of all. And I actually want the right sidebar layout. So I click on it and I'll see the little check mark. When I see that, I apply. Now I'm going to add an app. And the first app I'm going to add is a heading app. And I'm going to create a new app and we'll call it Header. Now I'm going to move that above my welcome. Right here, I'm going to move my upcoming events to the sidebar. And I'm going to add another app. This app is going to be a table. I'll create a new one and I'm actually going to call it the schedule. And I'm going to move that. And then finally, I'm going to add another flex app. And I'll call it my Tutoring Times. I'll create that and then I'm going to move that down to the bottom. And once I've done that, I click that I'm done. And now it's time to edit the apps. So the first one I'm going to do is my heading. I'm going to leave the size as a title and I'm going to save. Now I go back to my welcome page. And right here is where my welcome message is. Next, I'm going to do my schedule, and I'm going to make it 3 columns, and I'm going to go with the maximum number of rows. I actually need more rows, but that's how I want to have it. And I'm going to have a header row here, and basically I'm going to populate the table. Once I finish populating all of the information in my schedule, and remember your schedule may be a little bit different depending on whether you have first or second lunch, I click Save. I go back to my welcome page, and finally I'm going to put my tutoring times in. So here I'll just type my tutoring times and maybe information about extracurricular activities. Okay, one thing I would like to point out at this time is that as you go into each of these apps, you see the same menu here. This is very much like any kind of Microsoft document. You can hover over each icon to see what it does. I'm not going to go into that because a lot of them are pretty obvious. But these have to do with tables. You can put hyperlinks in or change them, that kind of thing. It's very easy to use. So once I'm done there, I save my changes. Now when I go back to my page, my teacher page, I can see how my home page has changed. Now if I have a flex editor app here, I can click edit and I can type or change fonts. So maybe I'm going to change that font to that, and I click save, and you'll see how the font has changed slightly. And that's basically all there is to adding your first homepage on your website. Now when I go back to my page, my teacher page, I can see how my home page has changed. Now if I have a flex editor app here, I can click edit and I can type or change fonts. So maybe I'm going to change that font to that, and I click save, and you'll see how the font has changed slightly. And that's basically all there is to adding your first homepage on your website.